Hi all lovely peeps. Well, recording was the last thing I was expecting to do today. I'm going to put, like I said last time, the camera keeps going in and out of focus, so I'm going to lay a spread now. I am going to lay a spread about this, generally around this financial crash, because that seems to be what's coming up. There's been so much going on this week, so many things I want to look at. So I'm just going to try and crack on with it. So let's look around the financial crash a little bit. I was not expecting to be recording today. I was expecting to be working on my membership site and on my Lightworkers directory. I've got so much to do there. That's what I was expecting to be doing today. And instead I'm recording, which is good. It's all good fun, isn't it? So so much going on this week, energetically, and in the world around us. I can't understand. I keep hearing people say, oh, it's been a quiet week. It has been anything but a quiet week for me, which is why I'm recording now. My guides prompted me that we're going to do this video. Oh, I get why. It's so sweet. What a lovely message. What an absolutely lovely message. Yeah, it's happening. It is happening. This is what I was feeling. It's happening. This is so exciting. It's happening. They're being taken down. It's happening. Whatever, they're going down. Oh, so much has come through. I've got so much to say, but I can't just gloss over this. They're saying they're being taken down. I think one of the big realizations I had was that everything's going to change. Everything is going to change from this point. It's for the good. And I think we've lived in this slavery, in this oppression for so long, we forget how terrible it really is. We're taking a huge leap forward. This was one of the things that I wanted to talk about. It suddenly hit me that from this point, every single thing is going to change. This is the moment, this is the point when everything changes. And fine, okay, so the money's going to change, time may change, the way we live in the world may change, but it's going to lead to the change, absolute switch in our perception. Things were moving slow in the past. A lot of us have had to do a lot of that work and face the ridicule and criticism. Not that most of us light workers have existed with narcissists anyway, so it hardly matters now, does it? You know, we've probably always been the, well, if you're anything like me, you've always been the weird one, you've always been the, and well, living with narcissists, you tend to grow a skin as thick as a rhino, don't you? So, you know, come at me, bro, do your best. When you live with narcissists, it's like walk off a duck's back, innit, you know. Yeah, we're just letting go and moving on to the new world. This was the last thing I was expecting. My guides were pushing me to do this video. I was like, I've already got 2 readings recorded. I need to edit them and get them out. But I've been feeling this switch. Now, I know a lot of the switch in my energy, for example, has been, my guides have been really ramping up the pressure this week. Come on, get it sorted, raise your energy, release that block, move on to the next stage. We need to push this forward. We need to get into alignment, stay into alignment consistently, which if you've been doing that work, you know it's hard, because how do you live in the real physical world and keep that alignment in place, especially the world as it is now? I'm sure it will get easier as the people start to awaken, but things are going to start moving really quickly now. And I get what they said was, oh, it's going to be a slow reveal. And I've kind of been getting the general impression of how that's going to go with all the stuff that's happened this week, which is what I wanted to kind of look at. But do understand, if you've been having blocks come up for removal and, you know, you've been feeling a bit wobbly, everybody seems to be having wobbles lately. The energy is so intense right now. The energy is so high. And if you've been pushed to do that work, please know that you're not the only one. You're not the only ones. Things are going to start moving really quick from here. I get that it's still a slow reveal. I get that there's not going to be... Well, I do want to look at the comms blackout and the possible energy crisis with this Nord Stream thing happening. Things are switching round, and there's going to be a lot of people who struggle with that. A lot of people. Not us. Not us. I think we are going to just be so happy. So happy. Such a great gift and so much better off. Right, so the other thing my guides have been pushing me to do as well, and let's have a quick read on this, is... I know I said in a previous video about this financial crash, but as well as pushing me to raise my energy and getting that ascension energy like 24/7, which is why they've been switching my routine up, I think. Getting in that energy, staying in that energy as much as possible. They have also been pushing me to stock up as well. If you're with me, if you know what I mean. Anything that you might need, they've been really pushing me to stock up. And I was thinking, oh well, if the pound does crash, then it's going to mean that we can't buy things so easily from abroad, or there's going to be hyperinflation, because obviously, you know, if you've got bananas on the shelves like 12 months of the year, okay, that might be a bad example, because you might live somewhere that grows bananas 12 months of the year. I don't know, I'm not a farmer. But here in the UK, if you've got bananas on the shelves 12 months of the year, they're not being grown here. Yeah, and if the pound has crashed and the pound is worthless, then the bananas are going to be so expensive no one can afford them. So I was thinking, oh, maybe that. And then all this stuff started happening, and I kept being guided to all this information, and it's like, okay, maybe this is going to be more extreme than I originally thought. You know, this crash. And then, of course, we've got this Nord Stream pipeline that I wanted to look at as well, which kind of indicates there's going to be... Oh, okay, I get what they're saying here. I wondered why they wanted me to just pull 3 cards from each one, but I do kind of get what they're saying. Okay. Okay, so remember, this is a black hat plan, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. This is all a black hat plan to push us into recession, to push us into hyperinflation. But obviously they're not in charge anymore. They obviously wanted to cause chaos and energy crises, and so that we would just surrender and be reliant on them, so they'd have absolute power and control, obviously. But they're not in charge of this. Their plan is being exposed, but pull it back. Pull it back. My guides are saying to me, as long as you have got food in that you can last a week, and they gave me 1 week, yeah, which is odd because that's a 5, so let's say 5 days, 5 days to 7 days, yeah, and swords are quick, might not be hours, but I always take swords as days, so let's say 5 to 7 days. As long as you've got enough stuff in that you can manage 5 to 7 days, it'll be fine. That wasn't the plan. The plan was utter chaos and devastation. Well, they're not in charge anymore. Yeah. So, okay, I get that. That's good. Because I was thinking, oh, is this going to be bigger than I think? You know, it's kind of built up and built up and built up. And I think that does kind of happen, doesn't it? You know, do we need to be prepared for more? If you want to prepare for more, please prepare for more. I'm not saying, you know, oh, don't worry about it. If you want to prep, then you prep for much, much longer. But it does look like there is going to be something coming up. So if you haven't got any emergency backup food, then I would suggest you do so. And some nice things as well, because I've been trying to get, I like a nice glass of wine every now and again. So I like, you know, I'll have a like maybe a couple of bottles of wine in reserve with this. There's still a choice around this. Please remember, you know, you have to let go. You have to release. You have to let go to find out what's on the other side. It might be a little bit uncomfortable, fine. When they say soft reveal, what they're meaning is it's not going to be what was planned, but it may be uncomfortable. It's our choice how we deal with it, and this is not set in stone either. There are lots of choices around this as well. This one's unusual. This is obviously, this is a little child looking through the gate. Obviously they want to be in the nice rainbow bit, but they're feeling locked out. But if you look, the lock is actually, I don't know if you can see that even if I put it up close, the bolt is actually undone, so he can walk through any time he wants to. Oh, okay, let me double check, but this is about our spiritual ascension. And thank you for all your information. I'm not always up on all the physical truth of stuff, because much as I love it and adore it and love looking into it and is so excited about this stuff happening, my area of expertise is stage 2, spiritual ascension. That's why I'm here. That's my purpose. That's my everything that I'm here. I love this stuff. I love watching this stuff coming up. I love delving into this stuff, but I don't have all the information on this. I can read the cards about it when stuff comes up that I want to know about, but basically, thank you for all your intel and all the information. I'm so impressed and overwhelmed with how much you all know. But this is about the next stage, stage 2, our spiritual awakening. We're ready to go. And I know a lot of the people who are watching this are already attuned, or getting attuned, or working on attunement. So stay in that beautiful innocence, that beautiful light. And if you are struggling with blocks coming up for removal, which can often look like stuff coming up from the past, or being faced with a situation that you may have struggled with a lot in your life, go to my block and block removal playlist. The full course is on my membership site, startlightworkcircle.com. If you're struggling with that, if you're an empath and you're struggling with the group energy, go to my spiritual and energetic protection playlist. Once again, the full course is on my membership site, on my website. Make sure you're directing what energy is coming in and what energy is coming in. There's also psychic development. I've done stuff on that, tarot reading. If you want to start like connecting in yourself, I'm sure you all know all of this stuff anyway, so let's get on with the next thing. Let me look at my list. Now, the other thing that came up was about this Vatican thing. Now, I get that I get that, if you remember, was it the last video? Yes, no, not the last video, the video before. It was the last video or the video before. Somebody had told me about the Vatican recalling all its assets on the 30th of August, was it? What I didn't realise, and I should have done if I was paying attention, because it didn't come as a shock to me, that the fair enough. Oh, bottom of the deck. What I didn't realise, and I should have realised, was of course they may have recalled all their assets from whatever assets they've got. We know they have thousands and millions of billions and trillions of dollars of assets and property and such, but what I didn't realise was that the Vatican's control the banking system. Now what someone said was they control the central banking system and all the major banks, but not the government banks, which is fair enough, because that'd be like a different family, isn't it? One of those families would own that. So, but what they've done is they've ordered all the white hats, have ordered all the banks to return all their assets to the Vatican, because obviously they're going to take all of that away from any black hats that are left. Or we know that they've taken over the Vatican. Well, we don't know, but I'm pretty 100% convinced they are. If you know different, let me know in the comments below. Like I say, I know you people are really up on this stuff, but from what I understand, they've given a certain length of time for all the major banks to return all their assets to the Vatican. Well, I presume the white hats are going to, well, if the money becomes obsolete, then I don't know what they're going to do with it, but I get that there's going to be some kind of redistribution at some point, or I don't know, take it off the market. But obviously there's going to be this crash first. So so this is pushing it on, and what I understand is, and that's why we got the first reading, I think, that their time is up now. And I understand, and I don't know if this is true. We could do a reading, but I've got to tell you what these are first, and this is about something completely different. So my spirit guides, yeah, my spirit guides are all like, yeah, we want to talk about this, we're going to talk about this. It's been such a day, it's been such a week, it's absolutely crazy. So we were talking about the Vatican and the banks crashing. Apparently, most major banks have filed for bankruptcy. I don't know if that's true or not. That's the information I got. Yeah. If you know, please let everybody else know in the comments below. It really resonated with me. It really resonated with me. I can see that, especially from the cards that we've been having. Right. What they want to say here, this is all about ascension. You can see we're going to be so happy, and I can completely understand that. I'm going to be so happy, and we're all going to be joining together. We're all going to be joining together. We are, what does it say? We are the world. We are the world. Joining together. I know that's a bit hippy dippy, but let's go with it. I love that stuff. A lot of rebirths here. Rebirthing into innocence, into a perfection of spirit. And don't cling too much to the past. The blocks are coming up for a reason. The blocks are coming up for the reason. Watch the videos if you don't know what I'm talking about, or you don't know how to spot blocks. It's all in the videos. What they look like, how they come up for removal, and how to remove them. It's all in the videos. I've already done the videos. And stay playful, people, which is what I'm feeling today, right? This is so exciting. The energy is so high. And don't forget, there's more lies than the system they've set up around us. The system they've set up around us is to keep us from our true selves. When that system starts crumbling, more and more and more people are going to start waking up. And I'm not telling you what your purpose is. I'm not telling you what your dharma is. You know that better than anybody else. But if you're a light worker, this is our time. This is our moment. This is our moment. This absolutely is our moment. But let's get back to this Vatican thing, shall we? Let's get back to this Vatican thing. I don't know why they want me to lay the cards completely differently. I think sometimes when you do things completely differently, I think it shakes the energy up, doesn't it? They've been getting me to do a lot of that, which is why I'm recording today when I wasn't going to be. So let's see what the truth is around this Vatican thing. Right, well, we do have lies and deceit in the current line. We certainly have independence in the past. This could be either way though, couldn't it? That their lies and deceit are being exposed, or that's not true. Certainly not getting much indication from the cards around it. I would say this is swinging towards it is true, and that this is their lies and deceit being exposed. Certainly we've got the dark hats in here, and their love for money. That's what's causing a struggle. I think it's true. Their love for the money, because it means power and control, has been utterly stripped away from them now. I think some of them have stashed some stuff away. That's what they just said to me. They knew it was coming, so they stashed a little bit away, but it's not going to last, especially with the fact that they're like being hunted down now. I think they're still arguing with it. They're still trying to juggle things a little bit. Well, we know that, don't we, from the Nord Stream pipeline, which also came up this week, didn't it? Having that blown up. These cards here are more about what to do about it than anything, because I wanted to get to the nitty gritty, the real nitty gritty of this, like, you know, like, is it true or not? Yeah, but this is more about what to do about it. Just carry on with our normal lives. We're all prepared. There are limitless possibilities. Oh, we're stepping into thank you. We're stepping into limitless possibilities now, and connecting in with divine essence, the no thingness, where there is no things. Yeah, that's more of our focus, isn't it, as light workers? And that's kind of where we're heading, isn't it? Which was why I was like, I suddenly just like was like overwhelmed with like the changes that are going to have to happen, because we've managed to stay in this 3D world, obviously because of the activities of the dark hats. That have kept the density this low, so we've been able to stay in these manifested bodies. But as their systems are going to start unraveling, they've already been unravelled, but we're going to start seeing that in a practical, physical sense. And like I said in a different video, you know, what if we decide we're not going to have money anymore? What if we decide we're not going to have time anymore in terms of like clocks on the wall and calendars? What if, you know, everything changes? You know, possibilities are endless for us to enter into this no thingness. It's not that it's going to be no thing, because obviously we're joy and love and peace and conscious awareness. But, you know, obviously at some point that system that's kept us in this 3D is going to start unravelling, and that's a joyful thing. That's a hugely, hugely, hugely joyful thing as we're moving towards our independence. Now, I think what I wanted to look at next was this Nord Stream pipeline, because I was kind of like, well, I don't even know what that thing is, so, you know, I don't really care. But apparently it's quite important. Now, if you don't know, and I'm sure you know, I did not know, the Nord Stream pipeline carries most of Europe's gas and oil from Russia to Europe. I think it enters in Germany, and Germany came up as significant. Now, I know I have a regular lady who watches me who is German, and I'm going to ask if you are seeing anything, if there's anything going on in Germany, because I have seen nothing. Mainstream media have been absolutely silent as far as I can see about Germany, but if you're seeing anything about a financial crash, if something's going on with your money, if something's going on with this energy crisis, would you let everybody know in the comments below? Because I have seen nothing on this, but Germany has been flagged up as being significant in this. Now, obviously the Nord Stream pipeline was originally a black hat thing, and blowing it up was also a black hat op. They knew this was coming. It's been set up a long time ago. They wanted to sabotage it, which apparently will cause obviously will cause an energy crisis, which will cause a comms blackout. Now, I understand obviously the white hats are in charge. Let's get some cards on this. I understand obviously the white hats are in charge, but they've allowed this to happen. Now, they're not dumb. They've allowed this to happen on purpose. They knew this was coming. They knew this was their plan. They've allowed this to happen on purpose. They didn't do it. The white hats didn't do it, but they have allowed this to happen on purpose. What I got was that sorry, I'm trying to talk and they're chatting in my ear. Not that I mind them chatting at me, but it puts me off what I'm saying. So the white hats have allowed this to happen on purpose to show what the agenda was. Now, as I understand it, the white hats want a comms blackout as well. I'm not sure exactly why. I don't know if it's to set new systems up. If you do know, let me know. But apparently the white hats want a comms blackout to do whatever it is they need to do. Yeah, so they've allowed this to happen on purpose. So don't worry about that. Now, I was like, well, there's not going to be an energy crisis, because surely at any point our starseed families are going to jump in and bring us this free energy thing. Yeah, I'm sure the technology is already here, to be brutally frank. Right, I'm sorry, I don't know when that cut out. I've got two cameras rolling, so I'm hopefully going to have captured all of that anyway. But if it's flicking from one to the other, then you understand why. Right, so the white hats have let this happen. So there's going to be an energy crisis, and I was like, and there they are. Our off-world family can step in at any point, and that is in the past position. But they've changed it. They've changed it with the fight. I'll have a look at that in a second, because I want to get through this information first. Now, we know that the Nord Stream pipeline, or this is information I got anyway, enters Europe through Germany. The information was brought to me that it's the financial crash is going to start with Germany, and I was like, well, But it's already happening in the UK, so isn't it happening here first? Not that, you know, it's important to me where it starts. It's going to happen worldwide anyway. I'm not saying, oh no, the UK are more important than Germany. In terms of Europe, we're absolutely not as important. Germany is like the hub of Europe, isn't it? We all know that. And I understand that what they're saying is if Germany, if the financial or energy crisis starts in Germany, it's going to be really significant to Europe, basically. This all looks really positive. I'm not saying there's not going to be changes around this, but it certainly looks like a good thing. And let's just trust on the professionalism of the white hats, basically. Yeah, we might not hear everything straight away. Let's ask the specific question if there is going to be an energy crisis, and if so, how bad is it going to be? Because that's what we want to know, isn't it? What do we as practical physical bodies need to do prep for this? Is there going to be an energy crisis? Is there going to be blackouts? Is energy just going to be too expensive to, you know, have anything but a light bulb on? I'm not seeing anything too disastrous here. I'm not seeing anything too disastrous here. They're working on it. I wonder whether the black hats are still actually in charge of this, because they've popped up here in the current situation. Although it seems that they're coming to some kind of deal here about this whole thing. I wonder whether they're being given options. They know that we're all going to be independent from them soon enough. I wonder whether they're going to strike a deal with the white hats. It's not going to be perfect. Are they going to take them off world? Are they going to take them somewhere else? Give them a fresh start somewhere else? Because karmically, we're still tied to them, and they're still tied to us. The deal's going to have to be obviously about them not doing what they've been doing, that's for sure, with the human children. This didn't really answer the question though, did it? Yes, it did. It's not going to be as bad as we think it is. I guess what they're saying here is it's all in the pipeline, but they do, the white hats do know what they're doing, so we're going to have to trust them. I would say prep for it. Prep for a little something, but it's going to be so small. It's going to be so small. I'm not saying it won't be a little bit uncomfortable. It might be a little bit uncomfortable. Get your candles in. Get your torches and your lanterns in. Make sure you've got a nice thick quilt. That kind of stuff, I guess. Right, the other thing that happened was this thing has come up about Coolio, hasn't it? Coolio did an interview talking about now this was really when I have really seen the synchronicities stepping up this week, like instantly, like that. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll say something in the morning, then the answers come by the afternoon, like physically manifested in the afternoon. So that has really stepped up. And this Coolio thing, because I got sent this thing, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if I should look into this Coolio thing, because it's apparently he did an interview about the music industry. Apparently these executives were asking him to have sex with him and stuff, these guys, and they were talking to him about child trafficking or something. Now where was this? I'll tell you where this was, because this guy's done this thing about it. It's on Rumble. I'm I did write down the title somewhere, but as I was doing this, I got this like huge rush of energy, and it was like, Coolio wants to be channeled. And I'm like, okay, that's the last thing I was expecting. Now, I'm not saying Coolio's dead, right? For all I know, that might have been a stage death. He might have gone off into white hat protection and a stage death. He can still, his higher self can still be channeled even if he's not dead. It did feel to me though like with his ascended energy being as high as it was, it did feel to me that he had passed and he'd gone through, and his soul has been processed and upgraded. That's how it felt, but I'm open to be corrected on that. So if you were thinking that Coolio was still alive, I'm not ruling that out, but that was a strange thing. And he was saying that, I watched it and he was saying that he had to be careful because obviously he's got family, he's got children, he's got grandchildren. But let's go with it. Let's see if we can get anything from Coolio, because obviously he stepped in and then stepped back again, because obviously I had to sort other stuff out. So let's have a look and see what Coolio's got to say. He said he's done his part. He's done his part. This was what he was meant to do. He's done his part. So from a spiritual side, yeah, I think he did die. He's not saying how though. I'm going to presume that the black hat's off him because he was speaking out. White hats may not be dead. These are the white hats in the best course of action here. I'm working on it, working on it. I think this was probably about the time that he passed. Obviously he's not happy, he was struggling with it. But whatever, on a soul level, he did what he came here to do in moving the world forward, moving the earth forward. And he doesn't regret that. He doesn't regret that. He might have done at the time. He might have done at the time. Actually, I'm seeing nothing here about death. This is about, I thought it was because this is about spirituality, but looking at this now, I can't see anything about death. This is certainly coming to a deal with someone about it. Maybe it's one of those, like the Queen question, is she dead? Maybe it's one of those answers that are neither one nor the other. I get he's not here. I get they didn't kill him. They didn't kill him, but he's not here. He's been moved somewhere. He's been moved somewhere where they've raised his energy so high. He's ascended. I'm not sure whether he's still in his physical body or not. I'm not sure whether his ascension has meant that he... Because obviously if you ascend so high, you're not going to be perceiving your physical body anymore. So your physical body's not going to be here, right? So is he dead or not? Not in the traditional sense. I get they sent him somewhere off-world, but a higher vibrational place. That's why he wanted to come through today. That's why he wanted to come through today. And he's sending us all lots and lots of love. He's sorry he's missing out on all this good stuff, but he did his part. He did what he came for. And he's ascended, and I think he's happy. I think part of him is regretting having to leave at that point. But yeah, he's doing what he can, and he's sending us all positive energy. What? Craziness. There was other stuff I wanted to look at, but I don't know how long this video is going to be as it is. I'm desperate to look at this Trump-Putin thing. As far as I know, let's just see if we can do a quick one. Right, I just want to quickly, now, I've lost one camera completely now. Technical issues, that's what happens when your energy raises, and it only gets worse. It can get quite annoying and expensive. But I do want to just quickly look at this Trump-Putin thing, because I'm going to do a relationship spread actually. It's not about romance. I don't think they're having a romantic relationship. I'm going to put Trump this side and Putin this side, and the relationship, I'll put 2 cards for the relationship between them here, because as far as I know, this is good Putin. Yeah, I know there's been some swaps backwards and forwards. As far as I know, this is good Putin. He's cleared Russia out. This Ukraine thing is just so that they can clear out the Ukraine, because apparently there's lots of black hats there. And it's all now about the armies uniting. We've got a couple thrown out here. Yeah, they're in party together. They're definitely in party together. It's not always the smoothest, I don't think, but they're absolutely acting in unison here. Did I say Trump this side? And Putin this side. And this is a relationship. Oh! White hats! The relationship is the white hats. I don't know whether Trump and Putin are busy mates. I don't know whether they even know each other, but there's the link. They're both on the right side. Now, funny thing is here with Putin, we've got 2 walking away cards. I wonder if he was on one side and flipped over, or whether this is him walking away from the deep state dark cult in terms of ridding Russia of them. But he's strong and he knows it. He's in a strong position. He never did give a big fat monkey's bottom, did he? That's always what I saw. Yeah, he's independent. Oh, he's independent. He's independent, but he's working with the white hats. And that's the relationship between them. What I said was right then. They're both in on this. They're both in on the white hat side, which was what I originally understood. I wonder if Trump struggled with this relationship a little bit, because the mainstream media went ham on this, didn't they, at one point? Although it seems he's very frustrated with how slow things are going. Well, aren't we all? Absolutely, aren't we all? But moving forward now. So he seems a lot more comfortable with it. From what I got, Russia moved in quite quickly with this. So maybe he was frustrated that he was kind of held back a lot. Or the white hats were held back a lot. I think without these two absolutely in, things would have been a lot more complicated. And I get that they've had their own struggles going on here. Their own struggles getting through this and doing it in a reasonable way. They've had to let go of a lot of judgments as well. Yeah. That's pretty much what I got. Yeah. So I am going to leave it there. That was most interesting reading. What an exciting week. I think we're heading straight into it now. And like I said at the beginning, it's going to start speeding up. But I'm going to end it here because I don't know how long this camera is going to last for before it crashes. But thank you so much for joining me. This has been so much fun. What an exciting time. What an absolutely exciting time. I hope you're all feeling it. I hope you're all prepped up there where you are. Any information, you'd like to share. I'd really appreciate it. I might not always get back to you straight away. I am doing other stuff as well. But thank you so much for joining me. Hope to see you in the next video. Sending love and light to you all. Thanks for joining me. Please do the YouTube things like share, subscribe, all those kind of things. Comment. And see you in the next one. Bye.